Hi guys, welcome back. We are going to do a little extra added lesson here that we're going to call Lesson 3.1 Part 4, which is strictly about word problems. So our learning targets are going to be to formulate systems of linear equations to model real world situations. So based on these word problems here. This is not in your Springboard book. You may want to write these down on a separate sheet of paper, or you may want to have printed the note sheet for today. It's just one sheet. But we're going to work through these examples to get you guys some extra practice for the quiz. Okay, so here we go. It says here, a karate school offers a package of 12 group lessons and 2 private lessons for $110. It also offers a package of 10 group lessons and 3 private lessons for $125. How much does each lesson cost? Okay, wonderful. So first thing we're going to want to do here, and it says for each problem, write and solve a system of equations. So let's go ahead and write what x and y are going to represent here. So x should represent group lessons. And then y should represent private lessons. Okay. So one second, let me lock that. There we go. So y represents private lessons. Okay, so now let's try to come up with a system of equations here. So let's let equation 1 be represented by the first package that the karate school offers, which says that there are 12 group lessons, 2 private lessons, and the total cost is $110. So let's write that as 12x, because x represents group lessons, plus 2y, because y represents private lessons, and set it equal to the cost, which is $110. Okay. Then similarly, the second package offered is 10 group lessons, 3 private lessons for $125. So let's write that as 10x plus 3y equals 125. Okay. And that's the big part here, is you need to be able to come up with that system of equations. Okay. Then from there, you are choosing whether you want to use graphing, substitution, or elimination to solve. In this one, personally, I would probably use elimination. And I would multiply this first equation by -3 and multiply the second equation by a +2, which is going to leave us with -36x minus 6y equals -330. And then if we distribute the 2 to everything, that'll leave us with 20x plus 6y equals positive 250. Okay, and remember, when you get to this point, you are adding. The nice part here is that we've made it so that the y's cancel. So this would be -36x plus 20x is a -16x. And then -330 plus 250 is a -80. So when we go ahead and divide by 16 on both sides, we get x equals 5. Okay. And then our last step here would be to plug that 5 into one of your equations. So let's pick that top one. Plug in 5 for x. And then we need to solve for y. So plus 2y equals 110. 12 times 5 is 60. When I subtract that over, I'm going to get 2y is equal to 50. And then when I divide, I'm going to get y equals 25. So there are your solutions. We would write that as an ordered pair 5, 25. And then if we think about what that actually means in the context, it means that group lessons cost $5 and private lessons cost $25. Okay, and that is your final answer. Okay, and you will need to kind of, because it is a word problem, explain your answer in context, like I did there. So group lessons, $5, private lessons, $25. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and try another one. And this one here says, Eli invested a total of $2,000 in stocks, in two stocks, sorry. One stock cost $18.50 per share and the other stock cost $10.40 per share. Eli bought a total of 130 shares. How many shares of each stock did Eli purchase? Okay. So again, let's go ahead and start by representing what are X and Y going to be, going to stand for. So X should represent stock 1. And Y, stock 2, because it says that he puts money into 2 stocks. Okay. So our system here, let's think about this. So remember, we like to put all of the money information together usually. So we've got stock 1, $18.50 per share, and stock 2, $10.40 per share, and his total is $2,000. So I'm going to write that as 1850X, because that goes into stock 1, plus 1040Y, because that goes into stock, or that's how much a share is for stock 2, equals $2,000. And that's how much he invests total. And then it says Eli bought a total of 130 shares. So that's our other piece of information. But it doesn't say how many from stock 1 or how many from stock 2. And that's actually what we're trying to figure out. If you look at the end question, it says how many shares of each stock did Eli purchase? So we're just going to write that as, and hopefully you remember this from when we were working with the inequalities, but we're going to write that as X plus Y equals 130 shares. Okay, so now this one, now that I have my system, I would probably solve this using substitution because I know that I can get my X or my Y on its own pretty easily. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. And I would just rewrite this one as if I subtract over the Y, it could be just X equals 130 minus Y. So now I'm going to take what X equals and I'm going to plug it in for X in the other equation. Okay. So I'm going to extend my page a little bit here so I have room. Okay. So let's go ahead and plug that in now. So 1850. And then, like I said, instead of X, we are going to plug in that 130 minus Y. And then plus 1040Y equals 2,000. So let's solve. We need to distribute. So go ahead in your calculator, you need to do 1850 times 130, and you should get 2,405. And then you need to do 1850 times negative Y, so negative 1850Y plus 1040Y. I'm just bringing down everything else now, equals 2,000. Okay, so now let's combine some like terms. So we have a negative 1850Y plus a 1040Y, which is going to leave us with negative 8.10 or 810Y. And then bring down everything else. And then we would have to subtract over this 2,405, which is going to leave us with a negative. So negative 810y equals a negative 405. And then our last step here would be to divide by negative 810 to get y by itself. And so y equals negative 405 divided by negative 810 should be 50. Cool. So now you know what your y is. So we are just going to plug that in. So I would plug it into the second equation because it's a little bit easier. So x plus y we just solved is 50 equals 130. Subtract over the 50, and now we know that x equals 80. So your final answer would look like 80, comma 50. And if you were to write that out in an explanation, you would say how many shares of each stock. So we would say 80 shares of stock 1 and 50 shares of stock 2. Okay, beautiful. And again, you guys know you can be checking your work by plugging back in to make sure it makes them true. Okay, awesome. Then moving right along, third one we have here is Mariana had a $20 gift card to an online music store. She spent the entire amount on songs, which cost $1 each, and music videos, which cost $2 each. Mariana bought 5 more songs than music videos. Find the number of songs and the number of music videos Mariana bought. Okay, so right there, X should represent songs. Y should represent music videos. Cool. So let's go ahead and write our equation, or our system of equations. So first of all, let's put songs are $1 each, music videos $2 each, and she has a $20 gift card. So let's write that as 1x plus 2y equals 20. That's how much she can spend. Then this part's a little bit more tricky, but it says Mariana bought 5 more songs than music videos. Okay, so we know that the number of music videos she bought is the number of songs she bought is the number of music videos plus 5, right? Because it says she bought 5 more songs than music videos. So X has to equal the number of music videos she bought plus 5. Okay. So again, in this one, because I already have X by itself in one of the equations, I would definitely use substitution. And what I would do here is take that Y plus 5 that X equals and plug it in for X here. Okay. So that's going to look like, if you want to, you can include the X, or the 1 in front of the X, but you don't need it. So I'll put it there just in case. So we have Y plus 5, we're plugging in there. Whoops, I meant to do that in green. That's okay. And then plus 2y equals 20. So again, I use substitution there. I just substituted that in for X. And if I distribute a 1, it's not going to do anything. So I'm just going to rewrite that as Y plus 5 plus 2y equals 20. I need to combine some like terms here. So that's going to be 3y plus 5 equals 20. I'm going to subtract over the 5. Whoops, let's undo that. Subtract over the 5, so that's going to be 3y equals 15. And then y is, when I divide by 3, y is going to equal 5. Okay. So then my last step here is I need to plug that y back into one of my equations to figure out what x is. And I'm just going to pick that second equation. So x equals, plug in your y, plus 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. Okay, so now I would write that as an ordered pair, 10, comma, 5. And I know that Mariana bought 10 songs. And let's say 10 songs bought. And 5 music videos bought. And that's your final answer. And we know this makes sense because if you look at the very last part, or the part in red, it said Mariana bought 5 more songs than music videos. And 10 is 5 more songs than the 5 music videos. So we know we're good. Okay. All right, this last one, I'd like for you to pause the video and try this one on your own. Alrighty, so hopefully you tried that on your own, and this is the answer that you should have gotten. Okay, so please check over your work, make sure you did this correctly, and if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or remind message me, or we can talk about them tomorrow during our Zoom. Okay, have a good one. Bye-bye.